So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Moon in the 12th house in the sign of Sagittarius for Capricorn ascendant people. And what happens when Moon is in the 12th house in Sagittarius while it rules the 7th house of marriage, partnership, relationship, business, promotion, contracts, opponents. Okay. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the other astrological details for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where I've actually put several videos on my vlogs, especially related to very new and older items. And also I'm going to be putting a video this Friday on studying Dhan Yoga, exactly how to understand wealth, what the timing of wealth, okay? And I won't go into the complication of it. I'll just make it simple. Simple. That's what I do all the time. So, Moon in the 12th house. So 12th house is known as the highest of the moksha houses. Because 12th house represents egoless and selfless devotion to the higher, which is actually the self. The higher is the self, the inner self. 12th house represents foreign lands, foreign places. It represents isolated places like monasteries, laboratories. 12th house again represents the dream world, the astral world. It's bed pleasures. 12th house represents even the paternal grandmother. So one thing we see clearly is that you're going to meet your spouse in foreign lands. They're not going to be coming from foreign lands to meet you. You are going to be going to foreign lands to meet them. And somehow, when you meet them, there will be a religious book present or a philosophical book present. Some philosophical discussion may be going on, or some religious theme could be playing out, let's say, via television or painting. There will also be vegetarian food present when you meet this person. And one thing we see is that such an individual, and remember with Capricorn, okay, it's a very peculiar situation because on one hand, we are talking about, your mindset and, your karmic shakti, the power of your karmic presence. On the other hand, it is also ruling the 7th house of spouse. So it's kind of like intertwined. This is why you will see whenever a Capricorn person gets into a relationship, gets into a marriage, they can really provide a perfect meaning to the other person. And the reason being because the person will feel like, my God, you think like me, you behave like me, you cherish the same things like me. Doesn't mean that relationship or marriage is going to work out. Because certain combinations and timing will say, well, this person is only coming for a little while. It's just a small meeting you're having due to your past life interactions, but they're going to go away. But it becomes a very familiar thing with a Capricorn ascendant. And so here we see that both the individual and their partners or their spouses, their business partner, will have a very similar, concrete, philosophical and religious theme. Like especially in this case, you will see a person will most definitely will marry someone based on their philosophical and spiritual beliefs. And I wouldn't even put it religious beliefs because it is the 12th house. Your religious beliefs are really more translucent towards spirituality, And the other thing we also see is that your spouse would either have great interest in management, strategic managements, research, environment, okay? And they can even, focus on somehow teaching and counseling. But one thing is for, certain here is that through your marriage, you will be able to pay a lot of karmas off, which is especially prarabdha karma. What does this mean? So you shouldn't start thinking right now, oh, he means this. No, just listen. This particular position, what it does, it helps you to realize that there are certain things that have to be accomplished that you never thought before marriage. Like before marriage, you were just doing your thing. After marriage, suddenly an idea comes that I have to build a school. And I have to build a school for blind girls in this particular village or in this particular city. And when these things happen, this is literally moon helping you to realize to pay some prarabdha karma which is to happen, via which you can literally release, like especially, your pranamaya kosha becomes light. Your pranic body becomes light when you start doing these deeds. And this is why you see that these people actually incline the spiritual ladder very, very quickly through marriage. And one thing, you remember when I said in my, what was it? I believe it was satsang 3 weeks ago that I made, where I said sometimes people can lose intuition through marriage. They can even lose their psychicness through marriage, depending upon the placement. This is the particular position. If you weren't intuitive before, if you weren't a little psychic like before, well, after marriage, you're going to become that. You're just going to be like, why does my gut says this? Why do I feel this thing about this thing? And it ends up happening. So, and what you have to do, you have to start realizing that, yes, this has happened. I have experienced this and it happened. Because when you validate that particular event, it's kind of like a stepping ladder. It starts helping you to realize that, okay, it's building, it's building, it's building, it's building. For example, like everybody wants to go Kundalini awakening. You go, weekend workshops for Kundalini awakening, reading a book about Kundalini awakening, and you feel like, well, after this weekend course, I should just have my Kundalini awakening and everything is good and I'm done. Well, Kundalini awakening is like a S&P 500 stock. It starts out low here and it gradually builds up depending upon how well the company does. How good are they doing? How good is the CEO? Are they disciplined? Are they doing what they're supposed to? Then at the peak, you hit that. So unless you are doing those daily practices, that thing will not happen. Like, for example, in basketball, I was terrible at making free throws or making any shots or even dribbling the ball. It took weeks after weeks after weeks. And one day I finally made that shot. And boy, that felt good. This is the same way you start experiencing that with this moon in the 12th house position. You experience something very, very subtle. Like you just don't even realize that, did this really happen because I kind of envisioned it? I kind of have an intuition about it. You got to start noting these things down. And then when second things happen, write it down again. Third, maybe it'll be the 10th step. You start to really feel like, okay, there's something there's building up. It's building up. So very, very powerful position of the moon here. Okay. And I'm saying only this because I'm only taking the moon. I'm not taking any conjunction with any planet with this moon, because that will clearly alter that state of the moon. I'm not looking at any aspects because that too will alter that state of the moon. So, take it as a grain of salt with what I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of moon in the 12th house for Capricorn. And then people, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. If you want to know where your moon is placed, all your astrological details, check out the links here. And also go to the contact section and fill out the form and click on the link. Very, very important. So I can keep in touch with you, in the future. Anyway, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.